let me seize this opportunity to join others in condemning this nationwide vandalization of electricity assets owned by both the transmission company and then the distribution companies. Just before this latest one occurred, a few persons came to my office and were discussing about power outage, and they said that about 4 towers had been vandalized in Lagos State, and a portion of Lagos State is in darkness, and it has been up to 14 days. Just after that, I was in a meeting with the Rural Electrification Agency to syndicate off-grid systems for areas that do not have access to the national grid. And then I was called by the regional general manager, TCN, Port Harcourt, that they lost 4 towers between Elele Army Barracks and then Big Elele. So I hopped into an aircraft straight to the place, left the meeting. When I got there, I discovered that these towers were not freshly vandalized. These were the towers that were vandalized alongside the previous ones that fell. But unfortunately, they were not able to take care of the maintenance of those ones between Awoda and Elele. And because the brazings were all gone, the entire tower was resting on the legs alone. So what happened was that there was some kind of either horizontal or vertical force that caused the collapse of one, and by cascading effect, 3 other ones fell as well. But as I speak to you, they were up to their task this time, because I was regularly in communication with the corporate headquarters and the regional office as well. All the 4 towers have been erected, and hopefully they patrolled the line yesterday. Hopefully when the National Control Center gives them go ahead, they will be able to energize this line within the next 48 hours.
Oh, so in other words, at least by Sunday we'll see light in our house.
Yeah, that's why I say hopefully, because I don't have control over TCN. The state government does not have control over TCN. That's one thing I really need to emphasize. Everything that has to do with the power value chain was privatized, except the transmission system. It is only now that the transmission system is about to be privatized. TCN is a wholly federal government owned company, and therefore we can only intervene where they need our support. Like this case too, we didn't actually intervene the way we intervened when we had it within Yenegua and then the boundary communities between Rivers State and Bayelsa State. But the communities around that place, as we are all aware, will always ask that you must give us this, must give us that, for allow you to access the system and the rest of it. The contractor was not willing to do that. We had to go in and then paid the, in quotes, what they call machine ground and the rest of it before they were allowed to even start the job. That was actually what even delayed it a little. For about 5 days, they couldn't do anything. So maybe if they had taken advantage of those 5 days, well, you wouldn't have even been asking me this question today.
Well, the arguments some people will still make at some point, they say PHEDC, Bayelsa State gets part of them, like owner. So they won't say it is a Bayelsa at some point that owns PHEDC. And they say, how come Bayelsa person didn't get the company? Then it's still they put us for darkness most times. How would you reply to that? Because it's not just one person that says that. They say it on social media, they say that gatherings, that there is, as though what they give the whole of Bayelsa State is not up to what they give Obiakpo local government, for instance, in terms of energy. What's the response to that?
First, PHED is not owned by a Bayelsan, and it's not, there is even no one single person that owns Port Harcourt Distribution Company PLC. PHED is owned by a company called 4-Power Consortium. That 4-Power Consortium consists of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross Rivers, and Rivers State.
Governments?
Yes. No, not government per se, the states.
Okay.
And the major asset owners are independent entrepreneurs.
Okay.
each of the states by the public procurement law stated by Bureau for Public Enterprise was that government has no business in this franchise, and therefore they cannot own majority shares. 40% of PHED is owned by the federal government through their Bureau for Public Enterprise. 60% is owned by Four Power Consortium. Out of this 60%, 2% is owned by each of the states. The balance of 10% out of it is owned by private entrepreneurs. And therefore, that is the way it is structured. It is only after 5 years that anybody that wants to sell his own asset would have sold it to whoever that is interested in buying this asset. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the business, you can't easily go and just say, I'm going to sell this asset, because everybody sees that there will be money in the asset, but you don't even find how to fix this asset so that it will generate revenue for you. As a result of that, some of the private owners are even ready to sell their this into a third party. Unfortunately, nobody is coming out to come and buy. We spent about $24 million each for the procurement of these assets by Four Power Consortium, which is a company formed by the 4 states. Then you mentioned the issue of what is given to Bayelsa State sometimes is not even up to Obiakpo only. Power is a very dynamic commodity. Power is not a political and social commodity. Power is a technical and economic or financial commodity. And so PHED buy the power from the power distribution owners. All PHED owns is the physical assets, and if energy does not flow, electrons do not flow through those wires, then you don't have light. The owner of the person, the electrons, is the person that we are paying the cost to. And so at every point in time, if we are not able to meet the market that is given to us, that is the supply that is given to PHED as a company, there is always the possibility of diversion to where you can recover the cost of electricity. And so this is an issue that we need to treat. And indeed, when we get to our own independent power plants that you may want to ask me, I'll be able to tell you exactly how we want to do to mitigate this aspect of unnecessary, what do I call it, entitlement syndrome. Because right now, as I speak to you, if you go to where we are setting up that power plant, you see massive work going on in that place. All those of that massive work will only come to fruition the day we commission. And the day we commission any of those power plants, the aging process starts as well. So as part of what we want to do is to include sustainability and then accountability of energy. There was a time when the generation was actually very low.
Okay.
There was allocation to each or all the 11 distribution companies.
Yeah.
And then the allocation is based on the volume of generation. 1/6 of the total allocation is always given to each of the 11 distribution companies. And then when it comes that low, and maybe PHED has the total energy that comes from the grid to the entire Port Harcourt electricity distribution company is less than 120 megawatts. Okay. Out of it has to be distributed among the 4 states. Bayelsa State has only one the distribution outlet, which is the regional office. River State has about 8 of the regional offices. And so when it is shared among these regional offices, you discover that River State will have about 8 of such 8 out of the 120 megawatts that comes into the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company franchise area. So it is a function of the volume of generation. It's not as if it is deliberately being done. However, if there is any cost differential in terms of accounting for the energy that comes to Bayelsa State, if you are not able to meet up the difference, what happens is that they have every reason to say, if we don't meet up the market obligation, then it means that we have to limit what we can give so that we meet up the market obligation. The situation with the market obligation is this: once power is given to you, and let's say they give you 100 units of electricity, and you pay only 8 units of that electricity, the 20 units, when you want to pay, you are going to pay that one plus interest.
Okay.
You pay that 20 units that you didn't pay previously plus interest. No businessman will want to pay that plus interest. So rather than giving you all the 100 units, he would prefer to give you the 80 units and then ask the other 20 units to be diverted to areas where he can get paid.
Okay, let me understand it in clear English. It means that Bayelsa people not the to pay, or they make plenty money compared to another place. So if the power there, instead of you to give person who go pay you complete, you give person who go pay you complete. I speak pidgin so that everybody can understand.
Yeah, that is
so Bayelsa wouldn't they pay bill reach other places.
That is a business principle. You should agree with me. Today you are running this place. Somebody comes to this place every time. He says that, look, come and let me do a program for you. I'm going to pay you tomorrow. I'm going to pay you tomorrow. And if he doesn't pay you, next time if he comes, are you going to allow him to just stay inside your station and say, I'm going to pay you tomorrow? So the decision is purely, that's why I said, it's technical and economic decision.
Right.
The social and political aspect is what the advocacy that we can play to say that we will see how we will be able to mitigate the risks of loss, the risk that you are encountering in terms of recovery of energy sent to the region.
All right. What is the problem with Azikoro? Do you have an idea of when they'll probably have lights?
Azikoro has a very peculiar situation.
Okay.
The 33 kV line that feeds Azikoro has been totally vandalized. And it is vandalized in such a way that it's segmented. So what we have done is to take a holistic approach to rebuilding the entire line. As I speak to you, I have the technical evaluation on my table, and the governor has asked me to hand over the document to his deputy governor if he's not around, so that we can carry out a complete rehabilitation of that line. So I'm fully aware of that of Azikoro, and in no distance time we'll be able to start erecting the line, and then they will have reliable supply. As a matter of fact, Azikoro may be one of the luckiest communities, because the network we are going to construct is going to be a network that is technically fit to operate whatever power that we are going to get from either the grid or from our independent power station.
You talked about this vandalism, and I'm reminded that the last time it was said there should be a way to protect the facilities, and then the communities in River State and in Bayelsa were tasked with that responsibility. Did it also, because I remember that time the governor, was it the deputy governor and the deputy governor of River State and the commissioners met to agree on how to protect these lines? That's why people got worried at some point when they said that we're back to work of vandals. Is there an existing security network to ensure that the lines are protected so that vandals don't go there again?
First, this line radiates from Owerri, Owerri to Ahoda to Yenegua. Now, most of the base bracing structures, lattice structures, have been cut all the way from Owerri down to Ahoda. Most of these towers are just at the mercy of the weather. If there is any serious wind, as it happens in some other climes like in America, all those towers are bound to collapse. We have raised that issue several times with Transmission Company of Nigeria. We don't have even a right to have access to that place, not to talk of going to repair it for them. But what we did on the Bayelsa Okogbe end was installation of real-time monitoring cameras. And between Okogbe to Yenegua, we have over 36 cameras that are monitored on real time. If you come to my office any day, I will show you exactly how we are monitoring those towers. So if peradventure anybody goes to those places, the tower speaks and blows an alarm, and then the person that is monitoring it can also speak to the camera, and then the camera will also respond. That's what we have done for those areas. But these ones that happen between Elele and Owerri, you don't expect the state government, who do not have this access, to monitor all of this between Elele and Owerri. We are monitoring between Awoda and Yenegua, which is very, very effective for now.
Okay. All right, let's now get to a permanent solution, the gas turbine. I don't know if some party can speak in pidgin English. It would help us. We try to accommodate everybody because we have listeners cut across all levels of understanding in communities. Waiting be the gas turbine. Governments don't start to do them where they don't do and reach. We don't buy the machine. The machine, and it is like generator. It don't come reach. They don't do anything. When it go happen, government gets wire and pole. We go bring the lights come our house. I been the one way in local palace, this NEPA line, then I go bring lights come our house. Within the arrangement between government and people we get the gas, and share one by and form. And then when this turbine work, it go there free like the old one, or we go pay money. If electricity is expensive, are we looking at paying over 100,000, for instance, for a 24-hour light for like one room house? What will be the implication? So we start from the turbine, how I don't do to the money where you go enter for Bayelsa people pockets.
One, the power plant is a 2 by 30 megawatts power plant.
Okay.
Those 2 by 30 megawatts power plants have been procured. Commitment of 70% of costs have been made by the state government. The private company that is supposed to come and install that power plant is taking 30% out of the 100% costs. So that one has been procured. By Monday, the company that is responsible for the procurement and installation of the turbine is coming to the site to come and carry out the civil works that will enable us, when we keep that turbine on top of the foundation, just like you put this your building on top of foundation.
Okay.
And that foundation work, it not be the one be say that local people they do, and so they that has the turbine will be coming by themselves to come and do the foundation work. Our own part of it now to build the control room, build the workshop, and then build the switch gears and the gas, the equipment where you go take the gas from the line, so that the gas pressure we do for the line. This your
okay. No, speak the English.
So that the gas pressure on the line is actually higher than the intake pressure of the turbine.
Okay.
The gas pressure on the line is about 79 bars, but what the turbine takes is going to be 25 bars only. Okay. So there is what they refer to as the pressure reducing and metering skid. Okay. We are paid for that one as well, and that one is not just also on the market. You don't go just go to market, say make I go collect them. That say they go swallow market, go buy battery, or they go anywhere to go buy generator. Not be saying that they to do that one. Before we even got to the procurement of this one, we had to do design. They critiqued it, returned it back, agreed, approved. If I sign anything that I did not see very well and there's any mistake, and then carry the thing come and it not work, they go show me the paper why I sign, say now you sign everything, don't they? All right. So if it not work, now not be our fault. If they bring something where people say it not there inside what I sign, I go feel hold them. That is what we refer to as the front end engineering design. Okay. So we have done all of that, and we have paid 70% of that, because we've been the wait for them to come up with their own requirements. And they told us yesterday, that there are 2 equipments that are required to ensure that this PRMS works well. They are called ultrasonic flow meters and then flow computers. Those ones are not within their purview. It's a monopoly for an American company.
Okay.
That company is the only company that is accredited by the gas companies in Nigeria to provide the flow computers and the flow meters. So now those things where then they wait. Once those ones come, then couple them together, they are shipping it, and these things are coming from different parts of the world. For instance, like the pressure reducing and metering kit, they come from India. The switch gears are coming in from South Korea.
Okay.
The machines are coming in from through Turkey as well, which are all General Electric machines. So that is where we are now. But the assurance I can give to Bayelsa here is that maybe perhaps people will raise the alarm that, but the governor said that by February ending, these machines are going to come in.
By April
ending.
In February, the governor said that in 2 months, which is April,
yes,
the machine go down reach Nigeria.
That is an issue that is for a different day entirely.
Okay.
It is a statement he made to put everybody on their toes.
Okay.
Because he had committed whatever funds that are relevant for the offshore materials. But all the onshore materials that are required to make a power station, if you finish from this place, if you have time, you go follow me, go waka, we go just go opposite that AIC behind General Africa House. You go see the massive construction concrete work that is taking place in that place. Then you will now know that even this pipeline where we want to take the gas from, we don't start to construct them. But again, the pipeline is owned by Owando Dam, not Nigerian Adip Oil Company.
Okay.
So we are also in talks with Owando to ensure that we sign what we refer to as gas purchase agreement, gas sales and transportation agreement.
Okay.
And they don't already tell us, say, we go pay 6 months in advance of whatever gas that we are going to take. So I don't know where free light will come from. So if assuming government don't pay the 6 months in advance, and then after the 6 months, government don't pay again, and they not give us gas, how are we going to sustain this? So everybody should understand that this is a business that is collective, and then who sustains the business is the end user. As a matter of fact, the entire value chain for electricity is sustained by the end user, and then funds go from the end user to the distribution company, from distribution company to transmission company, from transmission company to generation company, and then to the gas providers. So the most important leg of the entire power value chain is the distribution companies and the end users. So anything that happens, they say PhD. Sometimes, as this tower collapse, people go say that PhD. If gas not there and power not there, they go say that PhD. PhD has only the leg where they will go buy from these people, sell, and then return their money back then, so that they will distribute the money to every other person that is in the value chain.
Okay. When we finally get this gas turbine, Bayelsans will have to pay, and you might pay as much as 100,000 naira a month.
No, I won't say you cannot pay as much as 100. It's pay as you go.
Okay.
Yes, so we are already setting up
meters.
Yes, we are setting up the metering system.
Okay.
The company that is coming with the power plant will want to recoup their cost as well. So they are also, as part of the projects that they are doing, they are coming up with a metering factory as well, meter assembly factory, which is for every household to be metered
in the whole Bayelsa state.
Yes, we are starting with about 2,000 meters as a pilot program. So if you bypass any of your meter self, the way they take do their own, if you bypass their meter, they will just see them from their screen. So they will say, so a person don't bypass this meter. They will go that place and then make sure say they disconnect you or charge you. And our electricity law self, we include that one, including mobile court as well, that if you thief electricity, they catch you. This is what is going to happen to you. So it's not a question of saying they will just carry light come, say, now free. It's not possible. Nobody can sustain it. That is where the sustainability aspect will come in. But it may not be as expensive as what we are paying as a government from the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board line, which was constructed for capacity development initiative between NCD and BMMB and Bayelsa state government. So when people say that it's NCDMB like they will take, the NCDMB that like will they take, it's not the correct thing. We, as a matter of fact, the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company paid 100% for the cost of procurement of that power plant. Bayelsa State government paid 100% of the entire land that was utilized for that power plant. And then the agreement was that they should run 2 lines. One will come to this place, the other one will go to government house. And government house pays 370 naira for every kilowatt hour of electricity. NCDMB pays 370 naira for every kilowatt of electricity, so that we will fit pay for the gas that they are using. No individual. There is a hotel just across NCDMB there. The man said that cost is even higher than using of his diesel plant, so he cannot pay. So let people understand that nobody wants to deny anybody from light. NCDMB has only a 10 megawatts power plant, and it is dedicated to critical government infrastructure and the NCDMB tower. And the cost of electricity is about 4 times the cost of PhD electricity light.
Make I help you break down for pidgin English. People they talk say, now because of government don't collect local content light, maybe they don't want to do light. In so say, no, not be local content get the light to government follow pay to get that gas turbine where local content they use. Ajib also pay money. In fact, Ajib not even do most of the work for that local content. Now waiting our guy they talk this morning. Then he say when this light come, it don't be like the other time we being gas turbine for kilo time. We light been free. When this gas turbine we our governor want to say when this one come on I go get to pay money. Say part of the reason why Okilo own no work reach this morning now because of say that free thing. Somebody get to pay for it. Nothing is free. If you ask something they free, somebody they pay somewhere. So this time around now you will go use the light, now you go pay. And in the talk say true, the machine it go ready this year. So is it the PHEDC lines the same wire with our house, or government go bring new wire? And if now this PHEDC wire, what's in the agreement? Because are we going to choose between if like my house, I have a meter already from PHEDC. So would I have to now say I'm keeping my PHEDC meter to take this new meter from the gas turbine company? So how is the arrangement between PHEDC and the government?
Okay, by the Electricity Act 2023, there is provision for states now to regulate their own electricity within their state boundaries.
Okay.
So that act allows us to go into synergy and agreements with any company that is functioning within the state.
Already in existence.
PhD is already here. And as a state, we form a quarter of the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company out of the 4.
Yeah.
So whatever thing that is domiciled in this place is going to be done in such a way that there will be a synergy between the state electricity regulatory agency and then the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company. So it will be unwise for us to start building new lines all over the place. By the time we finish building new lines all over the place, it would have been more than 10 times the cost of even building an entire distribution network elsewhere. Bayelsa State network is very, very rigid and difficult to operate. So we will do it in such a way we say we will carry the line put inside this PhD network, but it will come from our own power plant, and then we will get our meter at the beginning of all of the feeders in that place. Feeder now be the line where they come out from the place. So we will know how much energy we put inside that place, and we generate distribute into their system, and then whatever that is going to cost us, they are going to pay us, and the people that are going to pay that money is going to be the end user. PhD may be charging 202 naira per kilowatt hour for what we now currently refer to as band A. It's possible that we can come as low as possible after we have carried out what we refer to as tariff modeling.
Okay.
It is a tariff that will determine the cost of electricity, but certainly it's not going to be as expensive as the distribution network cost.
All right, Shaman, if you're shouting, the line they break. Oh, no, they shout, they break the line.
Sorry.
No, as they shout, they break the line, so we don't hear you.
Sorry. Now we now have state that don't reach 30 years now. If you come and state capital 660 for full every, if don't give us meter, where the meter now away from the pole? You see the danger of this pole now. With the from pole they fall like come and meter. The pole now fall, 6 pole now fall for somebody's zinc. If you go to own a several, you go see them. So 6 pole at the back, the government come out all these 6 pole, put normal concrete pole. We not tell the government is right because we not be looking at again. 6 pole, we don't want them again. I beg you, sir. Thank you, sir. May God bless you.
All right. Stick pole, not good. So many pole they fall because na stick. If we like make on a change all the pole to casting pole there, then he's also trying to find out how come we have gas, and you're saying that we have to pay for gas. Bayelsa no get gas for ground.
I don't know how I can say this. We get crude oil, but we see they take money, they go buy petrol for NNPC power station, filling station. The gas wey dey under the ground before. Now somebody now go bring the gas out ground. The person will bring the gas out. He invested money. The person is not asking you to pay for the infrastructure. He said the gas where I invest come out, where they distribute. Me, I come to invest so that I go sell the gas. So if you want to use, make you come buy from my hand, use. What is wrong in that? Just like here, we have water all over this place here. I say because we get water, if somebody goes to drill a borehole, and then you come to say the water now for my backyard the drill, and so you know go pay for the water, which is the simplest analogy I can give. So to answer that question, yes, we get gas, we get crude oil, we dey buy petrol. So if we dey buy petrol, then the person that is producing the gas will also ask you to pay for the gas. After all, we not even know say this gas there for this ground before the person come begin to drill and say na gas. We not even know the use of the gas. Now the person come to bring her out. Say he not bring her out, say make him take and dash anybody. And besides, let me correct this impression. We don't have gas.
Okay.
We don't have gas. The gas is owned by the federal government and the IOCs. 60% NNPC, 40% IOCs. Where is Bayelsa State name on that gas? Because the act clearly states. So I want us to understand this thing very well. The gas is not, there is nowhere in the constitution or in any book that states that this gas belongs to Bayelsa State. It is in our domain. What we should be fighting for now is to ensure that we ask that whatever thing that's in our domain, if you are selling it for 1 naira, you should sell it for 50 kobo for us. Otherwise, we cannot win this battle. We all know that the people that are doing this thing know what they are doing, and we will not be able to face them. And a lot of people have come and gone trying to ensure justification of why gas should be free. They have come and gone. They are still carrying our gas and they are selling. They are selling this gas even to what do you call this place? Lagos, everywhere. Right now, there's what they call AKK, Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano, gas pipeline. Ajaokuta does not have any gas anywhere. They do not even find it courteous to say where the gas is coming from in Bayelsa or Delta State. Let us put DAKK, Delta, Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano. Instead, it is at the northern end that they have used in naming the gas pipeline. So that is an issue we should be talking about in a different platform, but not when we are saying that we need gas, and then the moment the companies that are going to give us gas hears all this is what they will only say is that maybe this is what the challenges they are going to face. Then they begin to give us conditions that are going to be very, very stringent. Please, let us be cautious.